Hello.
Hello.
So in this video, we want to explain to you how we work, how we do things differently in the Respect organization, because as you know, our work is about trauma healing, if you have taken a look at what we do. And we do this by teaching a person and guiding them in somatic integration, to teach them somatic embodiment is what we call it. Because in this work, we help a person to connect to the body through sensations and resolve energetic blockages through the body instead of the mind or emotions or thoughts and feelings. Because with the body, when trauma gets stored in it, it is very deep work. It involves a very primal and very simple approach to resolve things from the body. And we do it with a trauma work, and we find it very important because in our work we call it the major hidden root cause of all disease. Because whatever trauma, whatever programs, as we call them, you have been brought up with and conditioned by, will determine your destiny, you could say. It will determine what you do, what you feel, how you relate to other people, everything. And in this world where you want to have discernment, where you want to have autonomy, independence, you want to be able to feel comfortable with doing what you think is right and what is best for you, and not that which your body has been taught many years ago, which is actually obsolete or not even true in the now, which is how we call it in our work, where identification comes in. Because people identify with the person that they embody, and they think this person that they are playing is who they are. And because, hey, this is the role, this is me, I have to be like this person doing this and then that is me. And when a person determines that this is what they are, this body, this experience, then it makes them very disconnected from the body, disconnected from how they see the world and why they see it the way they do and what their place in the world is. Because when you were a child, you didn't have any identity. Yet you were the most happiest that you've ever been in your life, probably. Or at least you were the most energetic and the most free and the most truthful, authentic version of yourself. So when you are a child and you are free of this made-up identity that you have been brought up on, you can connect much better. You can be happy with whatever happens, and life is just the adventure that it's supposed to be. It's not a work, it's not about fulfilling a certain goal or destiny, as we call it, even though, of course, there is a certain thing for everyone to do on how to live their own lives by just being themselves. But understanding what that is, what yourself are, is about connecting through the inner child, which we use in our work. So do you want to explain how we integrate the inner
No,
child?
you're doing fine. You're doing fine. I mean, keep on going, because the inner child is kind of a key in our work, although it is an abused, often used term in have you done inner child work? Do you know what it is? So it depends, I would say, on the one that is giving it or using the term, how it is used. And in the way we use it and have tried to explain it in the group and in the homepage, it is not about making you, let's say, schizophrenic or there's two things going on. Let's say what George mentioned here, it's kind of the forgotten part, the one that you lost when you grew up. where there was flow, where there was energy, where there was connection without there was a sense of identity or not that sense of identity. You were reasonably free. And often it is 100% certain, actually, when we work deep and we meet that child, then it comes back. The connection comes back. It is like a meeting filled with longing. You have wanted to meet that person all your life. And then that person, that energy, that intelligence is waiting for you inside to reconnect. And that works through the body, through the felt sense, has no voice, not like I'm talking to you. It is a deep recognition. So you get something to work with, something that is fully alive and wants to communicate with you, has a knowledge how to communicate. And you have the knowledge here to deal with the world, how you have to shop, how you do your job, how you pay your bills. So when these two work together as one, then everything is kind of open for real change, for real connection. The thing is, like, it's not the stories, not the feelings, the emotions, although sometimes they may give some information, but they pull you away from what is really, what really is interesting, or what is the essence. So, like, if you're in love, you feel butterflies. The butterflies are more real than, and the felt sense of the butterflies than the in love thing, because you can deceive yourself with the in love thing, or your mind can make stories about it. So, but the feeling of love and butterflies, that felt sense, that is real. And like, if you're sad, you feel something like covers your heart, or makes a knot in your stomach, or you can't talk because there's something in your throat. Like that is telling the truth of a situation.
Yes, and like with the example that it is not a story, it is not a thought. When you can feel it in the body, then you know it is real. What is not real, or what is made up, you could say, is the stories, the thoughts, because you are not your story. The stories are something you create from a perception of yourself. And when you, for example, are with another person, and let's say it's very harmonious, and you take care of each other, you live together, you do all the things together that normal partners do. But let's say, even though all of that is happening on the outside, on the inside, you're not feeling anything. You're not feeling any kind of connection or love with that person. So if a person is really lost in identification, they are lost in the stories and think they are the stories. And then they completely ignore what they feel. And this disassociation, which is what we term it in our work, stems from being conditioned to suppress or reject your feelings and deeming them unimportant or irrelevant in determining the truth. The truth can only be discerned through a feeling sense. A story can only do so much to really support you in finding out the truth of what is happening. If you don't feel it in the body, it means nothing.
So the body is always telling the truth, but not the body itself, but how the intelligence works through the body. And there you can see this is how soul really works, because that is truth. It doesn't lie, it cannot lie. And you discern the truth by the sensations, the felt sense, the space between it. Then you can feel what is really happening. And then you can give words to it, or you can just say, it presses on me, it strangles me, it makes me light, it feel butterflies. You can give words to how you feel. You feel colors, you feel flow, you feel your breath, you feel the clothes on your skin, you feel things. And even if you don't feel something, it is still an expression. So there's always something.
Yes. It is all about, in our work, we make a person connect with this inner child felt sense body intelligence, so they can be free from storytelling identification, free from dreams, free from worries about the future or attachment to the past. We make them connect somatic embodiment, becoming one with the body, here listening and connecting with a full spaciousness of essence, as we call it, which requires no doing, no judging, doing nothing, and yet is completely perfect by default, by nature. So we make the person comfortable and feel safe in the body so they can be with what is without feeling like this all the time, where they have to fight or flee from a certain thing all the time, and they have to compensate for their lacking or their fear or their pain by pursuing a certain goal on the outside, and then think, oh, if I pursue this goal, let's say if I earn this $1 billion and I get a mansion and I get a family and I get 10 cars or whatever, for example, then I will be happy. No, it's about feeling safe in the body, because then you are happy. You're not happy by getting something.
Safety is key. Also, when you were a child, hopefully you were feeling safe somewhere. Some people have extremely traumatic upbringing, but they're still alive, so there must have been some safety. And otherwise, we will make that safety. So part of the focus in a session beside the inner child is the first thing is to establish safety, because that's the base for work. So we ask you what it is, where you feel safe, how you can be safe, how we can work on more safety, how we can expand the safety. And if we enter into a trauma or a traumatic situation, where we can bring you back to that safety. Yeah. So you don't get overwhelmed, or you don't get into to re-traumatization, which is not the meaning. We can go to the edge, but we don't need to re-traumatize in order to get the trauma to move.
Yeah, because we make the trauma move simply by relaxing and being in tune with the body, so that the body can take care of itself on its own. Because yes, it is designed to resolve any kind of problem. The only problem is the one that we create. And it is because emotions flow on their own, as it says in the word, emotion, energy in motion. It is something that has to move. It does not move when we contract, when we freeze, when we are paralyzed out of fear, or when we disconnect and tune out of the body and refuse to feel what is happening inside of our reality. If we don't feel it, we create mental blocks, and these diseases that we then encounter in our lives are a result from our resistance to reality of what is happening all the time.
Yeah, because when we were young, we could not meet the traumas. They were too much. We needed to survive. We needed to move on, or it was too painful, or we couldn't understand it with our little brains. The trust was broken. We were hit. We were raped. We were assaulted. Parents did not meet us. They are simply not capable to meet us because they didn't have that connection with soul in general. So you meet people that are your caretakers that are not able to meet you. That is pretty traumatic in itself. I mean, they don't know what your essence is. They just gave you a name, and they tell you, like, do this and that and behave, and this is who you are. Point.
Yes.
So the thing is then, the perspective changes that you become responsible for this being that never could be met. Now you get the awareness, the safety to meet that what was repressed or traumatic. And once you start to meet it or face it without getting overwhelmed, the traumas leave because they get the awareness, they get they get the space to
Yeah.
say, now I can move, now I'm free, or now it's safe. And you have the strength to carry it, or you will have the courage to create the freedom.
Yeah, and this works simply because all trauma, all energetic blockages are in the electric system of a body, which is the information system, which is also the nervous system. The
Yeah.
nervous system stores all energetic blockages. And the nervous system heals all energetic blockages by moving them. And it only moves them if the nervous system itself is not blocked by contraction or by fear. When you are afraid, when you are in constant contraction like this from life, the nervous system gets into freeze responses, where it contracts and the body gets constipated by the contraction of the nervous system, because all of the energy gets locked up in the body. And everywhere small little blockages are created, which then cause this energetic constipation where you get sick, you get miserable, you get depressed. Depressed, just as the word indicates, is a depression. You pressurize something, you lock it in. That is all that is happening, really, on the energetic level. And yeah, this is why we dedicate our work in resolving these things. And we do that by the sessions, by the inner child connection work, by making resources for a person so they can connect in safety inside the body, so the nervous system can unlock through safety, relaxation, and finally realize, oh, I'm actually safe. There is no more threat. There's nothing I have to do. Finally, I can just be. And woof, like almost like a shaking thing, the body automatically resolves everything. And it doesn't have to be a shaking that has to happen. It doesn't need to be a great thing when you resolve and unblock a trauma. It can happen through all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be vomiting, it doesn't have to be crying, although that is a very normal thing to happen. It can also be very mild, like a fever, like a cold, like anger that comes up. Let's say in a past event, you've contracted and did not allow yourself to express yourself. It gets locked in the body. And then when you do this trauma work, when you connect to your inner child, this blockage can come up again to the surface. You get angry. You don't know where the anger is coming from or why you're angry at all. But then it gets released because it has to be re-experienced in the body. Everything is experience. All is memory that is happening ever. And when it gets stored, if it is not experienced in the moment.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes. And you had a nice thing about the heart. Can you remember? I mean, as the center to connect.
Yes, the heart is the entry point to the soul, because it is the connective link between sensation, you as an individual self, and the body. Because one thing is the mind, where most people's whole energy is sitting around in the upper chakras. The whole energy gets concentrated in this area. And then what happens usually with people when they close or they freeze their heart, so they then don't have to feel what is happening in reality, so they can tune out and not feel the pain, their heart closes, which means all that they're experiencing, all their sense of reality is happening here. So gut feelings, instincts, intuition, connection to self and soul is basically locked up. It is not happening. But by connecting to the inner child, to the safety, opening up the nervous system, the heart center opens up in the lower channels, the middle of the body. And then the channels down there, when they get open, the emotions and feelings of the past get released. and the emotions of the presence that are locked in the body, that connect you with intuition and higher sense of self, then are able to move freely again. So then, okay, you suddenly have some connection where you know something is right or wrong without having any information about it. When you hear some news on the TV, you will just know if it's the truth or not, just by basic gut instinct, as they call it. But this gut instinct needs to be connected with by allowing the energy to move automatically in the rest of the body through the nervous system. So is that what you wanted to know about the heart?
Yes, that's well expressed. And then, because the key in understanding of a deeper work with trauma, the difference in our working is what we then call connect to soul, is to have a deep knowledge about how the identification works.
Yes.
And George has made a nice name for it, and he calls it the phantom self. So you work on during your life from birth on, and actually it happens already when your mother is pregnant from you. We often even see how things are prenatal, how things are already so much formed in the pregnancy stage. And I call it the sponge stage. You just suck it in and it gets all deep into you. And even in the childhood, you're like a sponge. You just, and because it's like taking over on you, you get into this is me thing. And once we shift the connection to you're free of this me, you're not this me, you're much bigger than that, or your essence is so much free of all this me, then it's like George says, the heart opens, everything starts to move, and you can shift. Instead of being in your head, you can be in the whole body. You can be in this whole universe.
Yes.
The suffering ends because there's no me suffering.
Yeah.
Changes. And it takes time to get free of this me, but it won't take over like it did before. You will see that a thought is just a thought, a feeling is a feeling, an emotion is emotion. You should not repress them, but you can see them moving through. And then you just let them move through. And they don't take over. Like, because what you give attention, that grows. So if you give your thoughts attention, if you give your emotions attention, your feelings, and you put this me in again, then you have it rolling. Yes.
Yes.
And then, so George and me, we met online, and we just got into working on this together. I worked on this for, say, 25 years. And we feel like something in the chemistry, and when we work together, it's like one mind working together from different poles, and there seems to be some magic happening in how we develop things, how we exchange about things. And when we work with somebody, when we work with you, then it's like two people holding the space. Sometimes one is doing the work, and then the other one is free to sort of jump into with that space to interact in a very refreshing way. So it's like you get double boosted.
Yeah, and the whole magic of this work that we're doing is that it's so simple that we make. Because healing, when you go outside there and you look at what's around and what's popular, they always make healing so complicated. Like you have to do this and that and this and that, and you have to take all these things. You have to pay so much money to get so little done. But actually, it's so fucking easy. It's actually incredible. It's actually impossible almost that this simple basic knowledge of human physiology and how you connect and how you heal automatically is not out there. Because this kind of thing is not supported in this kind of world, where there's this almost psychological warfare happening on people, where people are taught since upbringing, since they enter school, that if you feel a certain way about something or you don't want something that doesn't resonate with you, you're supposed to ignore that feeling. You're supposed to disassociate in order to function in this world. It is expected of you to be a robot in a way, to use an extreme example, yes? Because when you have this kind of identity, which you also call the personality, which you use to fit in with a family system, with a society system, and you don't need it because it doesn't serve you as a person in any way. It is just a mask for the outside. But what happens with identification with people, they identify with the mask and they think, this is what I am, this is what I'm supposed to be, because this is what everyone taught me I should be, this is what everyone thinks is right for me, especially with my parents, who then, well, unwillingly, hopefully unwillingly, traumatized me. And then we make the very simple connection happen through the body, somatically and intelligently, by connecting with the individuality of a person, which is what we call the soul, the essence, which is the reason why we are here, which is the reason why we act the way we do when we are actually in alignment with what is good for us, what we think is right, what we feel is right, to better say it, because this is actually not about thinking at all. It is just about very simple sensation experience. That is why we call it somatic embodiment. You feel your place in the world, you feel that you belong, you feel that you are safe, you feel it is right to be the way you are, and the things just open up on themselves, and problems are not created by the mind.
Yeah, and the psychology developed through many years, in which George so easily picks up because it's so natural, is kind of the whole difference here. Because if you don't have the understanding of the psychology of the soul, of how the mind works, how identification works, you cannot do this deep work, and you cannot do it with that simplicity. That's kind of the difference.
Yes.
And let's say it has taken me a lifetime, and George just picks it up. So we have enormous fun with that. And the idea of the psychology is, as George says, it is so simple, but it basically comes down to the alchemy that has been so underground, because it's only through recent years, through, like, say, the last 100 years, it has become more easy to get soul knowledge. So the alchemy of the West, the heal thyself, know thyself, from the Greeks, from the philosophers, from the Indian saints, gurus, it is more easy to access. But to get out of this chaos for how the psyche works, how the soul operates, how actually it is so simple to work through the body, with the body intelligence, that's kind of the key in our work. And that makes it like almost possible to say, whatever you're dealing with, we just do it.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you've been raped 100 times, or your house has been burnt down, your family has murdered your siblings. I could
Yes.
use all kinds of extreme examples. It really doesn't matter. It only means that by the severity of what has happened, yeah, the blockage will be a little bit more intense. But it doesn't matter, because the body works out every single thing. It does it in order to survive. Because as a person, no matter how traumatized they are, has survived to a certain point, it is because, yeah, it is designed to do that. So It's
Yeah.
not like it has to be a complicated thing. We just make the pain and the identification go away so the body can take care of the rest.
You can even say the more trauma you have, the more power you have to transform. I mean, it is the biggest gift if you can see it as a gift. I don't say it's fun to be raped or almost killed or murdered, or your parents lost, or you lost your child, miscarriages. I mean, disasters, true disasters. It's painful to lose your child or to lose a brother, sister, father, mother. But the potential is there. Although tragic, human tragic, traumatic, accident sometimes, you have no choice but to see it as a gift. That's your advantage if you want to turn it around. And
Yes.
sometimes the mystery has its ways of working. So what you see as the most painful thing in your life can actually be the biggest gift. And although it may not be to understand it with your brains, once it reaches the level of soul or another dimension inside you, then it may say click and everything can just disappear in a few seconds.
Yes.
And often it is connected to waiting to meet somebody like us for that situation to transform it, because it needs to feel that safety. It needs to feel somebody has done it or knows what is happening. So not to sell ourselves, but often it works like that. The soul has been waiting for this moment to meet somebody that can do this work.
Yes. The soul has been waiting to find the right state of being where the mind, the body, the soul together can be at peace with themselves. Every
Yeah.
person's goal in the end is to be at peace. It is not about getting famous. It is not about leaving a legacy. It is not about being rich. It is really just, hey, am I at peace with everything that is happening right now? Am
Yeah.
I
And
perfectly in acceptance and in resonance with being perfectly safe right now?
yeah, natural connection.
Yeah.
That's your birthright. And that's often with peace because you're one with nature.
Mm.
If you choose to pursue the divine path of meditation and wanting to know yourself better, that's up to you. But this peaceful state, this natural connection, that is available for everybody.
Yes. And this is, you know, we make 3 hour sessions to really open up a person with so much connection just happening inside one 3 hour session that it might as well be compared, although I wouldn't really want to compare it, but you could compare it to, let's say, 20 to 30 hour sessions from a psychologist.
Easily.
Because all the things that happen simply because the connection is made through our work, through the somatic body, through the nervous system, through the safety, relaxation, the inner child, and the making oneself very, very free from the identification by simply showing a person what is keeping them in the identity of, hey, this is the body, this is the stories, this is me, because this is not you, this is just what you're making. This is you playing, just playing with this.
Yeah, and we have seen amazing how people start a session and already feel so safe. Of course, they often have had some communication with us, but when the session starts, there is this kind of, it's like the soul picks up on where we are, how we work. And the person relaxes and feels safe to work deep, to open up. That's an amazing experience to feel that we are trusted, that we can work with that sacredness, that specialness, that everything is open. that's special in itself. Yes. So we made these question lists, and we split it up in two. One is more general with health questions, basic traumas, where you're born, how many brothers, sisters, things like that. But still, for us, it's very valuable. Like if you have constipation, or you have amalgams or mercury fillings, you have had breast implants or whatever. So we understand more about your health, because everything is connected. Like if your mouth is not in order, you can do so many things, but if you don't fix it, you can forget about it. That's how it is. And it's the same thing. If you had an operation and the scar has not really healed, you need to heal that scar, and you cannot do anything else until that thing is healed. Just very basic. So George and me, we studied all our lives, like what causes diseases, what is doing it. Like now, modern diseases, heavy metal toxicity. It's like what you eat, if you eat animal products or grains, which causes mucoid plaque. Traumas as the most underlying cause. But so you study all the causes, and we've done our homework. I can really stand for that. So when you connect all these causes, and sometimes you have to be practical and say, you have to go to the dentist first, and then we can start working on the traumas, or do this operation. I mean, be down to earth. And sometimes we help people to identify the traumas, or the causes, sorry. And then we let them work with that, and then we arrange a meeting, a session. So what we do is not only the trauma work, we also have the possibility, like what George now does, where it's possible to work after the main session, to work on to get complete detoxification, get deeper body healing, get more grounding, get more comfortable with how the body intelligence works, how you work with body sensations, how you work with trauma, going up and down between the good and the bad. There's so many ways to we can encourage how to work with it. And we have made resources on the group, on the homepage, how you find more resources, how you can find support, how you can be more comfortable with this work. Because if you've been in a certain way, it takes time to change it to, say, embodiment.
Yes, trauma takes time. It cannot be done just overnight. I mean, of course, we can make it as simple as it can be, but you still have to let the body do the work. And the body, it does work slow. It can do things instantly. I've seen instantaneous healing. I've even seen it on myself, but overall, it's a very, very slow process, yes. But the thing is, it is easy when you know what you have to do just to let it happen. That's basically what my coaching after the session is. For now, we call it coaching. We also like to use the word body intelligence assistant, because the kind of coaching that I do is very, very holistic, because I don't only do the physical detoxification, and I kind of consider myself a specialist, even though I'm not certified of anything.
Well, but, you are.
But I am. I mean, from my experience, you know, because I know exactly at any situation why something happens, what is the cause, how to fix it, because I understand the body system and how simple it is. Because all diseases really just come from energetic blockages. All you have to know, where is the blockage? Why is it there? Why is it not moving? What happened before it happened? Like before the blockage was there, what were you doing? And then it's very, very easy. You just do some things to help remove the blockages, figure out what you have to do, and boom, the body figures it out. You don't have to do much, really. And but what you have to do basically is what I offer with my resources. Like, for example, what I've done with one client is when I do my weekly sessions, because I do 1 hour session like every week, where I discuss everything that the client needs at the moment and what they want, what is happening in the body, what is happening in their experience, and how things are healing. Then I give them some kind of homework. I let them keep a journal so they can keep track of what they're doing, and then they report it back to me. So I know, okay, let's say you have to deal with a lot of fear in your life. Like there's some kind of very threatening situation going on right now, and you need to know how to deal with it. Then I give some kind of exercise on how to connect with a felt sense, get inside the body, and then ask them why it is that they are feeling this fear and what do they actually want to happen instead. And then I work very individually with this person, just to make sure the person gets resources and strengthened in feeling safe, and to work with the person together in making trauma healing sessions where any blockages that are currently able to be processed for them at this time are still there, so they can now move. Because in trauma healing, you want to move one thing at a time, which is why I do this 1 hour a week, because it needs some time. You do some things, you basically trigger the energy to move in the body, and then you basically just wait and let it solve itself.
The thing is, what I want to add is the basic setup from the first session is to take, let's say, the main traumas from the family through generations, or things we spotted as, that's what we take in order for the person to breathe freely, to work with himself, to I can be, yes.
Yes.
And then we like to do everything in that one session, so the person can actually be independent, not being dependent on us or any other therapist or doctor or whatever. We like you to be independent. But often, because of the amount of traumas, or because it's such a shift from a thinking, feeling, emotional person to a body, embodied person, it is good to get that support.
The interaction.
And direction. And the thing is, like, even though you say now you pay George or you pay us for a session, the thing is, what we guarantee or what we work on, we want to be free of you as soon as possible. We want you to be independent, and that you never ever pay anybody again, unless you really need it. Of course, you should go to a doctor or ask for help. But you are made to be your own doctor. You are made to be your own healer. If you find a spiritual master, fine. But in a way, you should come to that level where you manage life. And that's what we do. That's kind of, we know it's possible. We know you have it in you, and we get, if we can't do it in one session, okay, then you take some extra. Plus we do the body, how to work with the body, detoxification. George offers the full package.
Yeah, I give you the training, how to heal you physically, how to heal yourself emotionally, how to heal yourself energetically, and how to work every single thing out together in basically becoming a master of how to fix yourself. Like, no matter what problem it is, any kind of blockage, any kind of depression, any kind of mood, any kind of feeling. I just train you, basically. So
what has taken me a long life to figure all that shit out. He is in this early age. He does it all. I have I can say he's a very complete healer. So I cannot imagine a better person to work with. So I vouch for George, seriously. And how much you pay now is a joke, because really, and also our although we changed from now a paid session, we give you a free interview. We can tell you how we work, and it's still I would say it's so cheap, but we cannot work for free. Also, it's not needed. So, but we use those free sessions to work together to get up to the level where we have that, because the 3-hour sessions we always do together. So, and then if you choose to work individually, you can work with George.
Yes.
And in the 3-hour session, we also have question list 2, which takes a lot of time for people, because we like to know, sorry, all the family details, because they have secrets, they have like imprints, they tell us things. Often there are the most traumas, and we do the main thing, kind of, it works magic. But it takes time for people to, and really, like, for most people, they're so loyal in their family and to their family, and when you ask them about details, it is chaos.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it is symbolically for what is happening inside them.
Yeah.
And it's
a lot
understandable.
Of stories and a lot of things that are like completely confused. A lot of confusion and stories, mostly.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't do it consciously. So when I really go into details, or just ask for details to the questions answered, then you get suddenly, yeah, this mother died here, or grandmother, and one, there was a miscarriage here, or a stillborn. And suddenly you get information. Yeah, I've never thought about it if it was something. Yes. Tragedies that were taken for granted or not thought about could possibly be something. I mean, somebody kicked out of the family a generation before can hit on your shoulders and you live it out. You need to know how that works. So we're good on that stuff too.
Yeah.
We also are aware that most people we work with actually have a birth trauma, are cesarean births, or have like being strangled at birth, have provocated birth, have been taken out by special tools. You hear amazing stories, but often it already starts there. Or you can say the pregnancy, how they were made. Some were made while the parents were fighting. You hear amazing stories. But basically, you can say, whatever happened there, whatever happened in the pregnancy, whatever happened in your childhood, you're here. You're alive. You made it. That's a miracle. You survived it. So then everything after that is a joke, really. It will only get easier.
Yeah.
But the work itself, the alchemy, the real work, to know yourself, to heal yourself, or the deeper, the soul, that's a special work. That will have its own challenges, but that's the challenge of life itself. So that's manageable when you are in the body, because you follow it in your own tempo. You can manage, or the soul will guide you. So everything has changed.
Yes.
Yes.
The universe, everything is originally intended to work automatically.
Yes. Damn. Yes.
It's supposed to be too easy.
When
Not
I
just
was
easy, too easy.
When I was born and when I was 5, 6 years old, I could see my whole life, and it has just been like that. It's like a script working out.
My life as well. Just like almost somebody else just moving me and doing all of these things, even though I don't care about any of them.
Yes.
Like literally, I mean, about most things I really don't care about, but I just do them.
We're
But
puppets.
yeah, puppets. Yeah, I mean that's how I think everybody feels like that.
Remember your
Because
childhood, how you were moved around by the spirit. You didn't think, you were just playing. Hopefully you were playing a lot.
yeah,
It was just moving you. I mean, it hasn't changed, but we have a mind, so to speak, although that thing is pretty unreal. But that software seems to be pretty real, let's say it like that. But still, something moves you beyond anything. So you better find out how to move with it instead of going against it. It's not
yeah.
always easy.
Mhm.
But if you don't have that challenge, why would you be here? Because it's boring. There needs to be some challenge. Walking the razor's edge is fun, although challenging.
Yes,
So this is what we do, and we work heavy cases. Amazing things have we seen already,
yeah.
and
People heal very quickly.
yes.
Mm,
So we're happy that you joined the group. We're happy to meet you through the homepage or whatever way you got to us. Feel free to question us or ask us questions. You can also question us, of course, but it's best to question to experience a session or have an interview.
yeah, we do
And,
the 50-minute interview where we get down to what you want with us, how we can work with you, and then see if a session would work for you,
yes.
what it would do for you. Exactly. And that's free. And then if you want, then you send us the question 1 and question 2 files, and we make a session.
And we guarantee the session works. And if you don't feel satisfied, we pay you back. I mean,
Yeah,
we're not, we
even
stand
because
for
it
it.
works.
Yeah, we stand for
Because
it.
it works.
So, but we have no problems giving that guarantee.
Yes,
Um,
you are
so,
safe with us.
yes, welcome. I think we have, didn't we go through everything?
Yeah, I think we went through everything, basically.
Yes. So this is our first video to inform you a bit how these sessions work, how to communicate, so you can understand it with your brains, because you like to have the understanding. You need to have certain understanding to feel safe. I mean, to feel comfortable, because you're going to open up for some people that just support you through. Or like we say, we hold the space for you to feel safe, to start moving with what is needed. And what is needed, the soul will provide for that moment, what it can move. And you will feel like coming home, reconnected.
Yes,
Yes,
that is somatic embodiment, being at home, being fully incarnated into the
yes,
human experience.
yes.
By being fully incarnated, it has to be body, mind, and soul. It cannot just be mind, it cannot just be body. Yeah, we explained how it works, how we make it connect.
Welcome to incarnate. Welcome to be here, really here. That's kind of, once you're here, things change.
Yeah, welcome to belonging.
Yes.
No longer being confused because you don't know what the fuck you are doing here.
Mhm.
What the fuck is happening? I don't want to be here. I don't
Yes.
want to be human. This is
Yes.
annoying. I just want to leave.
Yes. No addictions needed. Everything solves itself.
Hmm.
Uh,
Made to belong.
Made to belong. Yes.
Yeah.
Because what you find out that when you go deep, you already belonged. You don't need to belong to a family. You don't owe them anything. You own them only to lead your life.
Yeah.
That's when you were born, your parents want you to lead your life. So do it.
You're
You're the,
supposed to be free from emotional entanglements.
yes, you're supposed to go and lead your life, make your own life, go out and go in the world and take the journey, create your own family, make your own friends, make your own life.
Yeah.
But don't be dependent on others for making your life.
Hmm.
You're free to do it your way.
Yeah. All we offer is the guidance and assistance to make this very, very easy for you.
Yes.
Because with most people, they don't have direction. They don't know what to do. They are hopeless. They get to so many other people who are offering their help, probably for a much higher price than we do. And they don't offer them what they need. But here we simply do this because we
Yeah.
understand how it works. We
Yeah.
understand how simple it is. No
It's
complicated bullshit with us.
yes, it's simple and it's magic. It's beautiful work. Yes, truly.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to join the group or if you are already in the group, be a member. I mean, ask the question if you have any kind of problem and approach us if you are interested in working with us.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for watching.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for watching. See you around.